We have seen actually the breadth of the Nasdaq 100 though much higher than the S&P 500, which sort of tells you what the broader markets has looked like, as this chart on the Bloomberg shows. So what do you like in this sector that continues to rally despite these higher yields?
So within the big tech, we have very differentiated views on the stocks. Some portfolio managers, they either buy all of the FANGs or the FANGmans, whatever acronym you want to use, or they're completely ignore them. But we are stock pickers bottom up, and so right now we like Microsoft, largely for the AI thematic, and also because of the deceleration in cloud appears to be in the rearview mirror. We like Google as a long-term AI winner, and also because of the resiliency in the ad market. And we still have a small position in Apple. But we don't hold Amazon and we don't hold Meta. So it's quite differentiated between those big stocks that are driving the lack of breadth, or the breadth in the NASDAQ.
Mary, how much do you differentiate within the luxury sector as well? We saw that wipeout of around $30 billion in the last 24 hours. Is there anything specific that you like that you can still bet on? Because a lot of it had already rallied so much. We're at very, very expensive levels.
Yeah, so luxury has had a good, since the bottom of COVID, luxury as a sector has performed very well. And part of the reason is because there's been different thematics that have run through the sector. So first of all, it was developed markets coming out of COVID, and then it was inflationary pressures, and luxury is well positioned in that kind of environment because they can pass through any costs. And then it was China reopening. So that's sort of why these stocks are at this high level, because there's been multiple things driving them. We do differentiate between luxury. LVMH is our top pick in luxury because it has by far the best brand portfolio, and it also is a major beneficiary of that China reopening. I would say overall more cautious on the U.S. consumer, even that high-end U.S. consumer, than the high-end or luxury consumer elsewhere in the world.
How do you pick apart the winners from potential targets for consolidation or being washed out when it comes to AI? Because, as you mentioned, that is really the big factor that's been masking the weaknesses in the S&P 500, for example.
Yeah, so AI is obviously a very hot topic right now. And I think it's important to differentiate between what is ChatGPT and what is overall AI. So Microsoft, a lot of the hype around that has been specifically because of OpenAI and ChatGPT and Microsoft's ability to sort of push that through its other products and generate revenues from that. NVIDIA would be the same. There's a very direct link between sort of ChatGPT and demand for NVIDIA's products. But then moving away from that, there's sort of like the second order effects, which are companies that have a very competitive advantage in AI, have a suite of AI products, and are going to help continue to drive that company. That's more interesting, certainly in the long term. So that's why we own Microsoft for sort of that short term. You can see it probably by certainly in the beginning of 2024 earnings, but we also own Google because we think it's going to be a long-term winner in AI.